Welcome back to Crypto Meets AI. Jerry here with an update for you. Do me a favor, friends. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. It really does help the algorithm. Now let's get into this. We're sitting at $3.05, trading within a range of 301 to 314. We're down about 1% on the day. It seems like we're just trading sideways after that big-ass liquidation event happened. We'll see where it goes from here. Are y'all ready to go down this rabbit hole? Let's see what it entails. Most people think the American government has been against XRP. I'm here to tell you, that may be the biggest misconception in the entire market. From what I saw in top-level banking meetings back in 2012, it smells like the XRP ledger was American-backed from day one. I was working closely with some of the biggest banking executives in London at the time, meeting under NDAs, notes that never left the room, and a strange vocabulary that hinted at something deliberate, vaguely preparing a system for what we know now as the XRP ledger. Here's the theory, and it's grounded in more than just speculation. If other nations knew XRP was backed by the US from the start, they would have rejected it outright. No nation wants to adopt a rival's infrastructure for something as critical as cross-border settlement. So what's the strategy? Create the opposite narrative, make it look like the U.S. is hostile to Ripple and the XRP ledger, grill them in court, drag them through the regulatory mud. The end result, XRP emerges battle-tested, independent, and cleared, ready for global adoption. That's actually sounding like a pretty damn good plan. Why target Ripple publicly when clear fraudsters in crypto walk free? Because the goal wasn't to shut it down, it was to legitimize it internationally without wearing the American tech push label, quietly building trust where it mattered, in foreign central banks and clearing systems. This doesn't mean we weren't internal enemies. Some powerful U.S. institutions and individuals did oppose XRP. And why? Because the XRP ledger is a threat to the entrenched wealth control and influence. A neutral global settlement layer removes the leverage they've had for decades. The timeline matches the playbook. 2012, early strategic discussions, NDA-bound banker meetings. 2013 to 2017, quiet infrastructure build. Global bank trials. 2018 to 2023, public attack phase via SEC case. Now Ripple's position as the only institutionally acceptable crypto infrastructure. From the evidence I saw, no document ever outright said U.S. government deployment. It never would. But the vocabulary, the sequencing, and the coordination between certain agencies and banks was impossible to ignore. It felt orchestrated. So the next time you hear the U.S. hates XRP, ask yourself, why does the system that supposedly want it gone keep leaving it in the one position to replace the old rails? Comment down below and tell me what you guys think. Do you think this was a strategic takeover to dominate cross-border payments, infrastructure, and RWA tokenization? Please help me find Brad Garlinghouse, missing from X since the case ended. Don't you guys find it odd that no one from Ripple has commented on the case ending? And are the rumors true? Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse will be appointed as an advisor to the White House Crypto Council. If this does happen, it's major bullish for XRP and Ripple. The Brad Garlinghouse speech that predicted XRP's future. In January of 2020, at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse took the stage. Months later, the SEC sued Ripple. But what he said that day now reads like a prophecy. Let's check this out. Davos, the global stage. Davos isn't just another conference. It's where world leaders, central bankers, and the biggest CEOs shape the future of money. Ripple wasn't there as a startup. It was there as a player. The Internet of Value. Brad opened with a bold vision. We think about the Internet of Value the same way the Internet of Information changed the world. Translation, XRP is the TCP IP for money moving value globally as easily as sending an email. The CBDC prediction. Months before people even knew what a CBDC was, Brad told Davos, central banks will issue digital currencies, but they won't solve interoperability. That's where we come in. Ripple had already built the bridge. The SWIFT warning, Brad didn't hold back. SWIFT is an old horse that can't keep up with the race. While others tiptoed around the banking establishment, Ripple said it out loud. The lawsuit that followed. Less than a year later, the SEC sued Ripple. Coincidence? Or did someone want to slow down the Internet of Value? The silent expansion. Even during the lawsuit, Ripple expanded corridors, partnered with more banks, and quietly positioned XRP as the CBDC bridge asset. Why it matters in 2025? CBDCs are no longer a theory, they're rolling out globally. Brad's Davos speech wasn't a prediction, it was a blueprint, and Ripple is following it step by step. The end game? When the Internet of Value becomes reality and CBDCs meet a bridge, remember Davos 2020. Brad Garlinghouse told you what was coming. Comment down below and tell me what you guys think about that one. Here's some breaking news for you. Binance has enabled deposits and withdrawals for HBAR and SUI on the BNB Smart Chain. Here's why this matters. Binance has integrated Hedera as a BEP20 token and can now be deposited and withdrawn over BSC, enabling direct use in the BSC DeFi ecosystem. yield farms, lending protocols, and more without the need for bridging. This opens HBAR to cross-chain liquidity and access to a much larger pool of traders, DApps, and products native to BSC. Keep on telling you guys, institutions are here. We're all getting ready for when that flip of the switch. SEC Chair Paul Atkins, we are mobilizing to make America the crypto capital of the world. Secretary Chair Paul Atkins didn't just make an announcement. He dropped a coded transmission. The rails are already built. The corridors are active. Only one activation switch remains, and it's tied to XRP. For over a decade, the U.S. has played the role of a hesitant giant. Lawsuits, regulation by enforcement, staged chaos. To the public, it looked like America was losing the crypto race. In reality, this was the smokescreen of a superpower quietly wiring the world for its own rails. The Ripple lawsuit, not an attack. It was a filter, the purge, a decade-long operation to identify, test, and anoint a single domestic-grade settlement weapon, XRP. Neutral, bank-approved, military speed. Ripple rails already run through American arteries. Wall Street liquidity corridors, Treasury settlement pathways, cross-border defense contractor payments. You don't get embedded here without government blessing. The crypto capital of the world. Doesn't that sound nice? Isn't just about moving dollars. Enter DNA protocol, anchoring genomic identity data directly on the XRPL. In the next era, America will move capital, identity, and intelligence across the same rails. This is the architecture of the financial warfare. Ripple is the settlement arm. XRP, the ammunition. And DNA on chain, the intelligence grid. When fully activated, it becomes a global economic kill switch under the U.S. control. The world thinks Singapore, Dubai, and Hong Kong are winning, but the U.S. let them run R&D, only to take back the crown when operational rails are already in place. When the switch flips, XRP will no longer be an investment. It will be the system. Most will wake up too late, but if you've been reading this, you already see the blueprint. Comment down below and tell me, are you ready for that flip of the switch? And just so if anyone says that someone can just create a Ripple Litecoin, that is wrong. Ripple's XRPL patent blocks rivals from developing comparable blockchain software. There's no competition, at least not until this patent runs out. And are people blind to the reality of XRP taking over? I hope not.
There. For someone that doesn't want to specialize in this, it is something you have to pay attention to. Here's why. Let's just say XRP decides to, all of a sudden, they replace SWIFT. Let's say that happens. If XRP replaces SWIFT and FedNow, you know what happens? Let me give you some numbers here. XRP's ledger processes transactions in 3 to 5 seconds at nearly no cost, making it significantly faster and cheaper than SWIFT. So, SWIFT processes $5 trillion daily, or 1.25 quadrillion annually. If you didn't know what that was, quadrillion annually, SWIFT. If XRP captures 5 to 10% of volume, let's just say 10% of volume, $125 trillion annually. The demand for XRP, by the way, could be any of these other technologies we're talking about. Analysts estimate that a $10 trillion market cap could push XRP's price to $100 per token, with full replacement potentially driving it up to $1,000.
Potential's there. The market cap don't matter for XRP. It's not like speculative like Bitcoin. Market cap does not matter for XRP. When you start tokenizing value on any ledger, doesn't matter what ledger it is, that value is then moved onto the ledger. That's how Ripple's market cap and XLM's market cap and HBAR and XTC's, that's how all their market caps can go to astronomical numbers, not because of speculation, but because of pure utility. And with 80% of currencies in the region restricted, we're creating the infrastructure needed to move funds seamlessly across borders, says head of commercial Jason Tay. Find out how StraitsX is partnering with Ripple to use its regulated stablecoin to bridge the gap between traditional finance and the crypto world, breaking down the barriers of fragmented regional payments and creating a connected ecosystem in Southeast Asia. Keep on telling you guys, the institutions are here. Multi-chain, multi-token system. The SEC chair, Paul Atkins, will modernize crypto rules and regulations. The SEC has dropped the Ripple case to provide clear rules for XRP and other cryptocurrencies.
So a couple of weeks ago, the administration issued the President's Working Group's report on digital assets in the United States, and there were clear directions to the SEC. We're part of the PWG, the President's Working Group, and clear recommendations for us to go forward and help make what the President has announced, his intention to make America the crypto capital of the world and have the world run on American technology. So we're mobilizing at the SEC all our different divisions and offices to focus on making that announcement become reality. So that's with our corporation finance division, investment management, and others. We're focusing on what we can do to make the regulations of the SEC encompass the crypto assets and also make it so that people can have some clarity going forward. We're working with Congress. Obviously, the Genius Act was enacted here a few weeks ago with a big announcement at the White House by the president himself, and as he signed it. So that I thought was a very good step forward. And now there are other bills in Congress that are being considered. And when they return from their recess, I look forward to much more forward progress.
When the Clarity Act is passed and Trump signs it into law, the floodgates will open. That's when you'll see these companies and these institutions and probably some of those 1,700 NDAs start to be disclosed and rolled out. You're going to see partnership after partnership being announced, and that's what we're seeing now today anyways. It's on a daily basis. Well, that's what I have for you, folks. Until next time, stay savvy, stay stacking, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. And if you want more crypto deep dives, check out our videos right here on Crypto Meets AI. Thank you for watching. Remember, always do your own research. This is not financial advice.